入ってる。
So, unfortunately, without a single ball being bowled, the fourth day's play has also been washed out in this World Test Championship final. That's 2 days lost now due to rain, but thankfully, we still have a reserve day that's triggered. And thankfully, the forecast for Tuesday and Wednesday in Southampton is actually very good. So, good chance that we will get as many of those 180 or 196 overs, or whatever, maybe even more if regulations decide that more than 98 overs can be bowled. But you have to keep the light factor in check as well. This is Intel Presents ESPN Cricket for Matchday, powered by Royal Stag. Quick chat with Sanjay Manjrekar and Dale Steyn. Before we wind things up, there's really nothing much to talk about except looking forward to the next 2 days and thinking, with 90 overs a day on an average, let's assume, with 180 overs, can we still expect a result in this World Test Championship final? Sanjay?
Oh dear. There you go. On cue, I'm getting a nice little hint.
Yeah, so let me go to Dale. Let me go to Dale while you take some time to think about it.
Yeah, I think it depends really on how the captains go about their business. You know, if Kane is happy to sit back and say, or both captains are happy to say, oh well, we'll play the kind of safe game, then it might just fizzle out into a bit of a draw. But knowing both of these captains, and I know the way that Virat plays his cricket, they will be pushing. They'll push hard. You know, I mean, these teams have worked hard to get into this position where they want to win. So a draw due to the weather would be unfortunate. But if there's any opportunity to win, I know Virat and I know him pretty well. He will push his bowlers to try and get those wickets, and he'll push his batsmen to score quickly so that they can try and get some kind of runs on the board and try and defend it. And the same thing with Kane. He might look at this game and say, boys, we need to bat big in one innings here, and then give ourselves a chance to bowl India out to win the game. So both captains will have their game plans, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully the weather plays its part for the next 2 days.
Yeah, that is what the forecast is. And Kane Williamson, even very recently against England, did give the opposition a chance. One of those attacking captains, one of those bold captains that likes to declare with a result possible in his favor. But Sanjay, same question to you. 180 odd overs. Let's assume we get as many of those or as close to 180 as possible. Results still possible?
Very unlikely. Dale is absolutely right about the two captains, wanting a result. And once play begins, they'll be trying desperately for a win. But I'm looking at the playing conditions, the pitch. It hasn't seen any sun at all. It's not going to behave like it did on day one. So, a collapse also isn't possible. When India bat again, they'll bat better. It's a good pitch. When you look at it, when you sort of bowl on good length, the pitch is not offering much to the bowlers. All the movement that we saw was on day one with swing in the air. There's nothing yet there for the spin bowlers. There's not going to be much of a rough. So yes, the captains will be looking to win and play accordingly, but sporting declarations and all that, you can forget about that happening in a World Test Championship final. If the weather makes it really difficult for both captains to achieve a result, I think both will be happy to play for a draw. I don't see one captain, making a declaration in a way to make a match and, find a winner and give the opposition a chance to win. I don't see that happening at this stage in this kind of a game.
If Kane Williamson does go, that will be a brave man with the kind of things that India have done recently, even overseas. But let's also talk about the conditions. What could possibly be conditions tomorrow morning, Dale? Now, given what you've seen, given that we've had a full day of rain today, in 180 overs, is it at all likely that two strong bowling attacks can get 20, 28 wickets, whatever it is needed to trigger some kind of result? Will it get any easier for the bowlers, or do you agree with what Sanjay's assessment is?
No, I agree with Sanjay. We haven't seen wickets fall in clusters. We've seen teams bat for long periods of time. And even though there's been some movement through the air, there's been a bit of swing and maybe a little bit of nibble every now and then, because that's the conditions. We haven't had a lot of play. So the surface hasn't had a lot of attention to it just yet. But I think if teams knuckle down and they bat well, they can bat for a long period of time. Scoring just seems to be a difficult thing. So in order to get runs and score runs quickly is going to be a difficult thing for these teams. And I think that kind of play will just continue. Had the weather played its part and the heavens hadn't opened up on us and everything, I think this pitch would have been wonderful. Would have been a great test match. But unfortunately, the rain has just kind of come in and spoilt it a little bit for us. But we'll see what happens. I mean, Kane also hasn't won a World Cup. New Zealand haven't won some kind of a trophy for a while. So I'm sure there's two sides of it for him. He can either push to win, or he can be quite happy to say, "Oh, boys, we haven't won anything for a while. Let's a draw is as good as a win for us right now." So we'll see from that point of view. But scoring is going to be really difficult. It's been slow so far.
Yeah, and unlike the 2019 50-over World Cup, this time if they do draw it, they'll still get half the prize. So Kane Williamson knows that. Thank you very much, Dale Steyn, Sanjay Manjrekar. Let's pick up this conversation on what is officially day 4 of this World Test Championship final, but it's only going to be the third day's action that we would have seen. Let's hope that we end up getting enough action to discuss on Intel Presents ESPN Cricket for Matchday, powered by Royal Stag. Do join us then lunchtime on Tuesday.
Thank you.
インテル入ってる。